Peace, peace, beautiful people. It's the Kxng Nolan here, and I want to talk to y'all today about the rise and fall of Slaughterhouse. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably don't really need any type of introduction on who Slaughterhouse is, but just to give a quick synopsis of what's going on, it's a super group comprised of Joe Budden, Royce 5'9", Joell Ortiz, and Crooked I, or King Crooked as he is now known as. The group formed in 2008 on Joe Budden's album Halfway House, in which they had a song called Slaughterhouse, and it was also featuring Nino Bless, if I'm not mistaken. So then they had a really good chemistry together and decided to create a group, and they dropped an album self-titled called Slaughterhouse in 2009. All right, easy stuff, you know what I'm saying? So Eminem ended up taking interest in the group, of course, with his affiliation to Royce 5'9", and you know, Royce did a lot of lobbying work to make this happen. So they ended up coming together and dropping an album, Welcome to Our House, in 2012. Well, since then, we've been waiting on this follow-up album called Glass House. There's been a lot of drama. Of course, we know about Joe Budden and his back and forth between Eminem and ruffling the feathers of the other group members, and just kind of overall there's seeming to be some sort of creative differences about the direction of the group. Not so much as far as the music is concerned, because although Welcome to Our House did really well, fans were very critical of the production on the project, feeling that Eminem influenced the sound a little bit too much. The group members agreed on that. So going into Glass House, Eminem stepped back, gave them the reins to do whatever they want. They had Just Blaze executive producing the album, which, I mean, come on now. They had people like Cardiac, Justice League, all types of, it was a who's who of producers on this project, and we just never got it, and just never came out, never came to fruition. And once the back and forth between M and Joe happened, it was like the nail in the coffin for the group. It was really kind of hard to rekindle that flame, especially with the fact that Joe was not going to come out and, you know, publicly apologize and show that grace to Eminem after calling his album trash. Well, some group members took it a little bit harder than others. Royce and Joe have continued to have a bond and friendship. Joe has called Royce numerous times on his podcast. I know he's spoken to Crooked I and Joell in brief moments, but the connection is obviously more so between Joe and Royce. Now, on the other half of the group, you have King Crooked and Joell Ortiz, who seem to have been the ones that formed more of a bond on the other side. So Joell and Crook actually released a collaborative album called Hard in 2020. So you kind of still got the feel of Slaughterhouse, but it was only half of the slaughter, you feel me? So leading up to now, there hadn't really been too much conversation surrounding the group, but Joell and Crook have announced that they got a new album called The Rise and Fall of Slaughterhouse. Now, of course, I've probably skipped over a lot of details in the interim. I'm not no investigative reporter, so we're not finna do that. But what I do want to say is that 2 singles have been released, and they're directly addressing the issues in their group. All right, first record that dropped was called Vacancy. They had a little rollout for it. Crook and Joell actually met at like a barbecue restaurant, and basically wanted to talk about the fact that they wanted to burn a pig, you know what I'm saying, and lay rest to the group, basically saying, for all the fans out there that have been waiting on this highly coveted project, don't get your hopes up. We're about to seal the deal. We're about to let y'all know it's not coming. It's not our fault that it's not coming. However, we don't want to keep leading y'all on. We don't want to keep giving y'all updates saying one day it may happen when clearly it's not. Now, in the music video for Vacancy, they have dedicated Slaughterhouse fans burning merch, burning the old albums, basically burning a house to let y'all know that we are officially at the end of a chapter. Like I said before, Joell and Crook are basically reminiscing on the old days, talking about how things didn't go right, talking about some of the issues within the group. And the song hit the internet, and it got viewed over 1 million times, close to 2 million actually, like in a 2-day span. So it clearly lets you know that the demand for new Slaughterhouse music is there. People have been waiting, and then for them to actually address this subject head on, I guess it's just a culmination of everything, because the fans have been waiting for some sort of explanation. Royce and Joe both voiced their opinions and said that they felt hurt. I'm guessing they felt betrayed. They felt like, why did y'all do this without talking to us? Joell and Kxng say, man, we done talked to y'all so many times. We've talked to you specifically, Royce, but Joe doesn't seem to want to be a part of the phone calls when we want to talk about the discussion of the group. We tried to bring this group together. We tried to take the group to another label after Shady let us go. That was the big problem. Joe didn't want to release the album on Shady's label. They got off the label. Nothing happened. They were under the impression that if they were able to retain the rights to the group and take it elsewhere, that Joe would actually come back, get in the studio, and finish the album that they had already started. That day never came to pass. They said, yo, what if Joe don't want to do it and Joe's really retired from music, what if we do Slaughterhouse with just the three of us, Royce, Kxng, Joell? Royce said, hey man, if Joe's not involved, I can't do it in good conscience. Okay, that's fair. So if there's no way to continue the group, why be mad when we come out and just say, hey man, this shit's over? Now, I got love for all these guys. I'm a big fan of each artist in the group as it pertains to their music in the group and as solo artists. I'm a devout hip hop fan. I've been listening to all these guys individually before they ever thought about a Slaughterhouse. I'm going to continue to listen to them either way. Following up all the buzz from the song Vacancy, Kxng and Joell have decided to drop another video. So it seems like they damn near probably got videos for every song, or at least the majority of the album. Because they got a crazy rollout. Now, some folks in my group chat say this is a Joe rollout. I don't really think it's a Joe rollout. I feel like it's this is what happened in the group. Joe's hands are not clean, so we're going to mention him if we're going to be honest about what's going on. Kxng has already said that when you listen to the album, you're going to hear the mistakes and the decisions that were made by all parties. So everybody is going to get dirty in this process. However, for people to believe that you can address this group and address everything that's happened in the public with Slaughterhouse without mentioning Joe's name, that's just being kind of delusional and just being a Joe Venger, man, which if that's your stance, then just stand on it. You know what I'm saying? There's no sense in acting like it's not happening. So the follow-up single is called Backstage, and it actually goes into what I was talking about before, how these guys had the ultimate chemistry in studio, backstage, and on the road. However, they just couldn't seem to pull it together as so-called brothers. You know what I'm saying? When you get in a group with people and you start hanging out together and you're together for months on end without seeing your family, without seeing your significant other, without going home, people tend to assume that you're going to become this band of brothers, which I think is true to a degree, but that doesn't mean that y'all are going to vibe as well. You know what I'm saying? Because now you start seeing the tendencies of people. Now you get to see who in the group has the bigger egos, who is the so-called diva out of the group, who's the person that's insatiable, that can never be satisfied, who's the one person out of the group or multiple people out of the group that want a bowl full of nothing but green M&Ms. You know what I'm saying? Who's the confrontational person that sets the room off? You know what I'm saying? Now, when I say who's the person, I'm not saying specifically that I'm pointing the finger at Joe. I'm saying that in any group of people, whether it be 3 people, 5 people, 10 people, there's normally somebody who's going to be outspoken. And that could be, like I said, numerous people. Out of 10, you may have 3 or 4 people that just ain't having it. They just like, man, whatever. I'm going to say what I say. Y'all take it how y'all want. The whole dynamic when you're in that situation is some of the other folks that aren't like that may feel some type of way, and they may start trying to decrease the amount of time that they spend with that group. Not because I like y'all any less or I don't love y'all, but it's just like, man, it's not conducive for me to be in this environment because it's always some sort of friction. Although we do patch things up and we go about our day and it's all good at the end of the day, I don't want to be in a friction-based environment all the time. It makes absolutely no sense. So you see stage footage of Slaughterhouse performing on stage in this video. You see kind of a reenactment with Joell, Crooked, and two other anonymous people who basically are taking the place of Royce and Joe, you know what I mean, kind of their silhouette going to a show, about to take the stage, going backstage. They're doing the you know, like the team where you put your hands all in on three, Slaughterhouse on three. That's how the song begins. And Joell and Crook tell their story. I'm not mad at any of this, to be honest. I'm not the biggest Slaughterhouse fan, meaning that I'm not a fanboy. I'm not somebody that's like just salivating at the mouth for anything and everything concerning Slaughterhouse, but I am a fan of the group. I do enjoy their music. I think they served a very important piece in hip-hop, because when they came on the scene, they were like the last of the real spitters. There were still people like Elzai out there who will never act like those type of artists ain't out there. But on the same token, they filled a space where it was just raw, unadulterated hip-hop, four guys just going in. And then you had the dynamic of adding Eminem in, and Eminem could rap on their same level, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of forced him to be a little bit more serious on their songs as far as his lyrical content, because Eminem at that time was still kind of being very playful. And the thing that's funny to me is we got an exclusive Slaughterhouse track from Glass House that Joe Budden played in response to that Vacancy song coming out. A song we otherwise probably would have never heard with him and Royce on it. And I mean, to be honest, it embodies the situation so well of how they must have felt betrayed, you know what I mean, on their end, which I don't want to discredit completely. I just don't understand how they feel so strongly betrayed when the guys have tried so many times to patch things up. But the song is fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. I still want to hear that album. A-Rap music, Just Blaze. If y'all want to, you know, turn your back on a hard drive one day and just let somebody leak it for, you know what I mean, get 10 minutes of access and just put it out in a link, I would not complain. You know what I'm saying? But it's an unfortunate situation. Hopefully these guys can reconcile in some sort of way, at least have a meeting, at least have some sort of sit down and talk, get things off their chest, even if it has to be a conference call rather than an actual meetup. Whatever it takes, man, because I mean, they all grown, they all in their 40s. There's no sense in having beef with your guys, man. Life is too short for all that. But let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Make sure you share this video, subscribe to the page. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep this content coming. I love all the support. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.